What is up, beautiful people? Thank you so much for joining Travel Buddy for another edition. Today we're going to stroll through the iconic Niagara Falls, which is one of Canada's true beautiful and majestic centerpieces. Niagara Falls is basically a group of three waterfalls at the southern end of Niagara Gorge, spanning the border between the province of Ontario in Canada and the state of New York in the United States. The largest of these falls is called Horseshoe Falls, or Canadian Falls, as you see on your screen right now. The smaller American Falls is on the other side, and to be honest, not really the most amazing. I think Canadian Falls is definitely where it's at. And a lot of Americans actually cross over from the American border onto Canada to enjoy this side of the falls because there's so much happening here. You know, strategically, it's located at a best vantage point, and also there's so much more to do, as you'll see later on in this video. Here I'm walking through one of the gift shops with one of the many souvenirs. You'll see the Canadian bears, the Canadian vibe, and a whole lot of Canadian authentic memorabilia you'll see. And one of the best things about Niagara Falls is that they accept Canadian currency and American currency, because all you see is Americans and Canadians. Like I said, a lot of Americans cross over, literally like a 10-minute walk across the border into Canadian Falls, because there's so much more vibe, so much more energy, so much more better nightlife here on this side. So that's the reason why all the retailers and restaurants and shops accept Canadian and American dollars. Another thing I find interesting is how the beauty of the rainbow just stuns you when you first arrive at Niagara Falls. I think it goes without saying that no matter where you are in the world, this sight of a rainbow is always breathtaking. But there's something just majestic watching the rainbow and the boat down there just thundering across the falls with all its might and majesty, with the fog and the steam, and just it's just absolutely breathtaking. Something that'll blow your mind away, and definitely something I would recommend every person to try to experience once in their lifetime whenever you're here in Canada. In fact, not a lot of people know this, but here's a little fact for you. Niagara Falls was actually created by the Wisconsin Glacier about 10,000 years ago. So yeah, this is a completely natural, beautiful, majestic falls created by Mother Nature about 10,000 years ago. Who would have thought that 10,000 years later this would become one of the most beautiful landmarks in terms of tourism, hospitality, and just the most epic, journey you'll ever take as a tourist, and a big source of revenue for Canada, of course, because millions and millions of tourists visit here every year. This is the American Falls, as you can see in the view, and there's the Horseshoe or Canadian Falls. This whole stretch is a beautiful walkway to walk through, especially in the evenings, with zip lining, as you can see here. People just going about on the zip line, chilling. It ends fast, about 50 seconds, but honestly, it's it's worth every buck, definitely. One more thing I found interesting about Niagara Falls was that in the last 150 years, people have done all kinds of stunts, There was a 63-year-old Michigan school teacher named Annie Edson Taylor who became the first person to go over the falls in a barrel as a publicity stunt. She survived, bleeding, but otherwise unharmed. Afterwards, she said no one ever ought to do that ever again. And since then, a lot of people have done all kinds of stunts and illusions and magical shows over the falls. In fact, a lot of people have tried to commit suicide over the falls. and that's why there's strict barriers all around. Anyway, let's move on to Clifton Hill now. Right here you see Clifton Hill, which is the entertainment section of Niagara Falls. It's like a long stretch, kind of like a combination between Vegas and a theme park. That's the best way I could describe it. Las Vegas and a theme park, because all you see are these cool haunted houses, pizza places, there's wax museums, there's all kinds of cool features, really funky rides and video arcades, and basically something for everybody. The whole stretch from top to bottom, you'll never get bored. And the Ferris wheel there is also really fun. I remember going on there a few years ago, and you can literally see all of Niagara Falls from there. This is Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. Really cool building, and even more cooler inside. This is the Niagara Speedway, another fun activity you can do with family or friends. They have all these little go-go karts that you can ride. And then you have this Niagara Parks, really cool dinosaur-themed putting area, golf putting area, mini golf, or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty cool, and it just gives you a really nice, surreal vibe. And there's always people around, especially on a Sunday. Whatever you're seeing today is all from a Sunday, and definitely a great area to enjoy, unwind, go out with friends or family, and just enjoy the energy and the vibes. This statue guy was so funny. Literally, like, he's very talented. If you wouldn't know he's a human being, you'd think he's a statue. The guy really takes his art seriously, and as you can see, there's a lot of people walking by. Here's the Niagara Falls at night, and definitely one of the most beautiful, iconic things you'll see at night. The video isn't too clear right now, so I do apologize, but kind of gives you an idea of how the light show and the beauty of the falls emanates at nighttime.